Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Reckless Paradise podcast. I am your host, Dystro, and today's or tonight's episode, I should say, it's gonna be kind of a mixed bag. This one. Also, today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everybody that is celebrating Mother's Day out there. But I want to kick this episode off with some tragic news. A few hours ago, at the time recording this, the ECW legend, Terry Brunk, aka Sabu, had passed away today at the age of 60. Um, Not a lot of people know who Sabu was or is. If you do not know who he is, you've been sleeping under a rock. He is the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal, aka Sabu, from Bombay, Michigan. Um, he was a mainstay in ECW, and then he went to TNA. Dipped his little toes into WCW for a little bit, but most people know him as like the deathmatch wrestler, and crazy son of a bitch, that he is. He was a former ECW ECW World Heavyweight Champion, FTW Champion, TV Champion, three-time Tag Team Champion, and he was the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2024 last year. He was also in JCW Juggalo Championship Wrestling. He was also in New Japan. He wrestled everywhere and everywhere, anywhere and everywhere, I should say, until he had retired a few years ago, I think. Um, it wasn't too long ago that we saw him on our screens for the very last time, wrestling Joey Janela at Spring Break 9 a few weeks ago. Lots of people have been speculating that the bump that he took to the outside on the concrete could have ruptured something. I do not know who or I don't know what could have led to his death or anything. But our thoughts and prayers at the Reckless Paradise podcast do send our deepest condolences to the friends, family, and also the fans of aka Sabu. He will deeply be missed. So this is Shoot the Shit, and on Shoot the Shit, this we talk about anything and everything. This is episode 30 of Shoot the Shit episode. If I hadn't said it at the beginning, because I wanted to go over the Sabu passing away thing. But let's just kind of get right on into it. A few days ago, at the time of this recording, I should say, it was Star Wars Day, May the 4th, and it was also my pops' birthday. And we kind of celebrated with a weekend of him, like, celebrating, because we had some friends come over, we had family come over. It was a very grand old time, didn't do too much of a, fiesta or anything. Just talked about, or just celebrated his life and all that stuff, and hopefully he had a good birthday. I know he did. But also that being said, the New York trip is still alive and well for now. I don't have to worry about hotel or anything at that situation, because Marissa, my former co-host and now producer, she has allowed me to kind of stay at her place for a few days. So big ups to her for that. And also shout out Papa Rick if you're listening to this episode. Love you. Hopefully I'll see you in the next few weeks. But yeah, and also speaking of Marissa, so we have been kind of working on a little something here. We are expanding the Reckless Paradise brand and name into kind of like another market, shall you say. I'm talking, paranormal stuff, like, spooky ghosts, like, paranormal activity, but no, we're not making any more movies. It is called Reckless Paranormal. And this is a way to get Marissa coming back into YouTube. She has been gone from the YouTube sphere for several years at this point. They kind of keeping, tabs here and there. The last time that she was on YouTube. She was on the Reckless Paradise podcast. So this is a introductory way going back into YouTube. And me and her main squeeze, Casey, we're gonna be doing our first Reckless Paranormal episode coming up in June. But you gotta stay tuned for when it comes out because we can't, fully disclose anything else other than that. But it's gonna be a grand old time. Hopefully, you'll come out to the premiere, I guess, if you want to call it that. It should be a grand old time. So let's talk about, I guess, some wrestling. I guess wrestling show news. I guess if you want, or me watching wrestling shows. So over the past few weeks, I had watched a GCW show. I had watched Progress Super Strong Style 16 Day 1. And then the last few days here and there, I watched the Resurgence pay per view. And just a few minutes ago, I had just finished Day 1 of the Best of the Super Junior show. And I have not gotten into Progress Wrestling. I know it's based out of Great Britain, and shout out man like Doris for winning the whole fucking tournament, which that's awesome. If you haven't watched it already, the finals was Leon Slater and Doris. Hopefully, I didn't spoil it for you. And then the GCW show that I watched was We Still Don't Trust You. Um, I mean that show was okay. It had some good moments here and there. The biggest moment though was Fuego del Sol turning his back on Sam Stackhouse and fully turning heel and becoming KJ Orso. I kind of agree with that heel turn. It's the biggest heel turn that we've had, and I'm actually kind of excited to see where it goes between KJ and Sam. But we shall see. But like I also said, I had watched the New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence pay per view based in America. That show was okay too. I had watched from the main event or the opening match to the semi main event, and actually it was a pretty good show. So, and then also, like I said, I had just watched the day 1 of the Best of Super Juniors show. I actually kind of liked how the brackets were this year. We had Nick Wayne going against Show, Dragon Dea versus Uncle Nobu, Fujita versus Akira, Hiromu Takahashi versus Kushida, and then El Desperado versus Titan, or Titan, if they want to call it that. Actually, it was a pretty good kind of show. I haven't watched the second day yet, and I'll probably watch it till the end of it. It's going till June 1st this year. So it's going to be very, very packed. Best of Super Juniors, I guess, for me, I guess, if you want to call it that. So, on to the final kind of topic for this episode here. I know some of that other earlier stuff is kind of short, but I kind of want to go into depth on certain WWE firings that happened over the last few weeks. Yes, they are still firing people as of today, or as of this date. So the very first one that I want to talk about is Cora Jade, also known as Elena Black on AEW TV. Cora Jade was there 4 years into the company. She had been missing some TV due to injuries and all that stuff, which I mean that's totally understandable. And she was recently at the NXT Stand Deliver show with Roxanne Perez in a Fatal 4-Way Tag match on the pre-show. And it's just really kind of sad that she didn't really win any NXT women's gold. I think she maybe won the NXT women's tag champs. I think if she did, it's just sad that she just didn't really get a fair shot. And she's still kind of young. She's literally my age, and it's just crazy. It is really really crazy. Um, but hopefully whoever picks her up will like give her the world, because she's a very very talented wrestler. Um, but it's like she was there for 4 years, and we've seen her kind of progress into this like plucky like young skate punk girl into like this like I guess like badass sort of girl if you want to call it that. Um, it was just sad to see her go. Another one of them was Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler was let go after a long career in the WWE. She was a multi-time women's NXT Women's Champion, a former WWE Women's Tag Champ, and like other than that, she was really just doing nothing. She was just like she was dominant in NXT, and then it's just like boom. Like when she went to the main roster, she still had that legitimacy, but she still didn't have that badass like mean streak that she used to have in NXT. Which was kind of like okay, like they just went okay, well we're just not gonna do you like okay, because like she was part of the Pure Fusion Collective with Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark, but I don't know how her like she'll get written off for it or something. I really don't know. Um, but hopefully Shayna Baszler will continue to do great things in the wrestling world as an indie wrestler. Um, the next one is kind of, I guess if you want to call it like you could have seen it coming sort of thing. Braun Strowman, he got let go for the second time in 4 years. One of the main parts of his release was like the salary that he was being paid. Um, he got released in 2024 or 2021, got brought back in 2022, and then he was like in a tag team with Ricochet for a little bit, but we thought like he was gonna be more of like a main event kind of player for for years to come and all that stuff, because we seen the feud that he had with Bronson Reed, and then we've seen the feat that he had with Jacob Fatu. And it's like I'm like okay, like all right, he was just a monster to put over all the other monsters, which is kind of sad to see. But hopefully, like, but he's taking it all in stride right now. He's like on his jet ski, just doing whatever. Um, so glad he's in good spirits right now. Another one was a shock to the system, no pun intended. Um, it was Dakota Kai. She was a longtime mainstay in the WWE for like years to come. She was like in the part first Mae Young Classic, I think the like very first part of it. And then she was like on NXT TV, like doing like here and there stuff, and then like she was more of a mainstay at NXT. Um, Former NXT Women's Tag Champ. Didn't even get a glimmer of a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. Maybe like several times or something, but like nothing like to legitimacy. I know like she's like doing stuff on Twitch and YouTube and all that stuff, so she's still fine. Hopefully DPW will probably pick her up and maybe make her more of a mainstay in DPW. So she's still working. It was just sad just to see her go. Um, the former women's tag team champions Katana Chance and Kaden Carter have also been released. Katana Chance, aka Katie Catanzaro, and Kaden Carter, which is Kaden Carter. Um, I'm shocked that those two were let go. Just to be completely honest. Because like they've been on the like main roster for like a few years, like a few months at that point. I think like maybe like a year or two or something. And they had like really kick-ass matches too. Um, like the last time that they fought, like was like the last one came in November 2024, and then uh, and then like because they fought Apple Fire and Isla Dawn, and then because she got released this year too, Isla Dawn did, which is crazy. And then on top of that, some NXT releases too. Eddie Thorpe and Riley Osborne had also been released as well. Eddie Thorpe, who is formerly known as Carl Fredericks in the New Japan Pro Wrestling America roster, and then Riley Osborne. I don't know too much about him. But then on top of that, Jakara Jackson of Metaphor got released and Oro Mensa got released. So two people from Metaphor got released because then disbanded, I think, or split up Metaphor. Because like Noam Dar is still there and Lash Legend is still there. Which is crazy, which is sad to see. But one of the biggest NXT ones that I thought was crazy was Gigi Dolan. And it's just mind-boggling, you know? This is like a multi-billion-dollar company who is in a good financial, I guess not crisis, but talking about like financial like showmanship, I guess, if you want to call it that, and they're still releasing people because I think it was like the first batch was like some backstage people, and then that was like 12 people, and then 12 more people were released, which was like 24 or something. So it's like it's just mind-boggling to me too. And also Gallus, like Mark and Joe Coffey and Wolfgang, they're all released too. So it's just mind-boggling to me that this company can just go, okay, well you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Like everybody that's like not putting in enough work or whatever, like whatever bullshit reason that they could come up with, it's like they're just gone. And it's like, I'm sorry, but it's like, these people are making you money with shirts and merchandise sales and video games and all that stuff. So like when 2K happens to um make another game next year, they're gonna be like, well, shit, like we can't put this person, this person, this person, this person, because they've got to do a complete overhaul with all the roster that you have. So why are you, WWE, letting some of these people go that can still make you money, but it's like some, like I said, bullshit reasons. It's like, because like they don't do this thing or do this thing, or it's like they're not doing this thing or this thing. It's like it's just some bullshit reason for them to be like, okay, well, we just don't see any potential in you, so we're letting you go. It's just, it just makes me so frustrated. But that being said, it's just like some of these people are going to be looking for work, and they can find work anywhere that they can find. Like Cedric Alexander, his 9 days was up, and he is finding work elsewhere right now. Same with B. Priestley, Blair Davenport, whatever you want to call her. Like she was at the Resurgence show when her 90 days was up, and like she was finding work. She already found work, and so like when if some people's like contract runs out, like Shotzi's is about to run out, and then like I said, like with like some people's getting expired and all stuff, it's like you're letting some of these people go. You're letting these people go that can still make you a shit ton of money, and you can still push them, but you're not giving them the chance or chances that they are looking for. Because some people, like Dakota Kai and all stuff, like she wanted to be like probably a world champion in the women's division, but you didn't give that to her. Same with Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan, you didn't give that to her or them. And plus like Danny Palmer too. I didn't know that Danny Palmer was released too. Like what the fuck? Like it just makes me so angry and so pissed off that this company could just sit by and just be like, oh well, yeah, we're just not gonna have anything for you, so goodbye. And it's just like, while there's like many people that are still in developmental that are still making the money, but then it's like that bullshit like a few years ago with like budget cuts, and it's like, oh yeah, these are budget cuts. Hell no, they were not budget cuts. It's like you just didn't want them on your roster anymore. But it's like, look what happens. It's like some of those budget cuts found work elsewhere, and they're still making money. and they will take any shot you can give them at your company. So I don't know why WWE's like, well, it's like we're just gonna let these people go and just like just go beep boop boop, not like just dust their hands off of it like they're like got away with a crime scene. And it's just mind-boggling to me. Um, but I digress before I go off on another tangent. Um, I want to thank you guys for listening to this episode. If you listened to me ramble for 20 and a half minutes, I really appreciate it. But if you guys have made it to the very end of this episode, we do really appreciate it. If you like what you if you like what we do, please make sure to give us a subscribe and follow us on all social media links in the description below, which will take you to our Instagram page, Twitter page, or Twitter pages, I should say, our podcast Reddit page, my gaming YouTube channel, the Reckless Paranormal channel, which will be up in a few weeks, and tonight's song of the night, it is a Pink Floyd song, and it is "Wish You Were Here." I think it's very fitting for the recently departing Sabu that we just had a few hours ago. And yeah, that's it. I just wanna like hug all the fans and all that stuff that or in plus like everybody that's out there still mourning the loss of Sabu. Hopefully he's doing a I guess a suicida through a table in heaven right now. But I do really appreciate you guys for listening and or watching this video. And that's it. And I will see you next Thursday for another Reckless Paradise podcast episode. Peace.